Welcome back. I'm Gary Parr.
And I'm Vanna Pfeiffer.
You're listening to the midweek version of Fiber Talk, that twice weekly podcast for needlework artists and ground cloth stabbers.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, when this little operation gets together, sponsored by Sassy Jacks Stitchery. And here's a word from Kim.
This edition of Fiber Talk is proudly sponsored by Sassy Jacks Stitchery. Sassy Jacks is a vibrant young needlework shop located on the picturesque main street of Weaverville, North Carolina, happily situated between Five Little Monkeys Quilt Shop and nationally recognized Well-Bred Bakery. We are nestled in a valley of the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of western North Carolina, just minutes north of Asheville, and a short 20-minute drive from the Biltmore Estate, one of America's national treasures. Sassy Jacks Stitchery is proud to be a brick-and-mortar needlework shop, featuring cross-stitch, counted needlepoint, embroidery, and punch needle. We host a wonderful collection of fine antique needlework samplers on display, many of which have charted patterns available for purchase. We frequently rotate our collection, so every visit is likely to yield a new treasure for you to enjoy. We are moving into our fall and winter season of stitching at Sassy Jacks, and we invite you to join us in one of the many opportunities we've created for you to stitch along and learn. We have a return of our tree decorating event, wherein everyone who sends us a newly stitched ornament for our tree by December 24th will receive a coupon for 15% off any single purchase during January and February. This year will also mark our third year doing our special Valentine's Day small exchange. We've opened our designer selection to include Summerhouse Stitchworks and Jeanette Douglas Designs, in addition to Plum Street samplers. You may stitch any small design from any of these designers using a pattern and supplies from your stash or purchasing something new from us at Sassy Jacks. Finish it into a needlework small and send it to us before January 25th. We will exchange it from another in the group and send you a beautiful gift from your stitching sister just in time for Valentine's Day. Check out our website or upcoming newsletters for more details and finishing tips for these fun winter traditions at Sassy Jacks. We hope you find a way to visit us soon. If you can't make it to us, we hope you visit us online at Facebook, Instagram, SassyJacksStitchery.com, and our new FlossTube channel, Yonder Ways. We love it when you stop by and say hi, whether it's in person or online. We truly appreciate you, and we really appreciate all we hear and learn from Fiber Talk. We are super proud to be a sponsor of this wonderful resource for stitching goodness. Thank you, Fiber Talk, for giving us some stabby pokey talk twice a week. Kim and team at Sassy Jacks Stitchery.
All right, thanks, Kim, and thanks for sponsoring. As always, we really appreciate the support. You make this possible. And folks, all of our sponsors, support them, please. Let them know that you heard about it on Fiber Talk. And, of course, that hashtag, Fiber Talk made me buy it. Powerful little thing. So, except at the Pfeiffer household.
Yeah, not powerful here.
Yeah, it just gets you rolled eyes and, that.
Mm-hmm. Shaking heads.
Yeah, that. Yep. Yeah, and not in a positive way. No.
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 Mm-mm.
Nope. Let's see, so many things. The hot thing in my mind right now is this thing you have hooked me into with the band cloth and samplers and spools.
Yeah.
You created a monster on my end.
I don't want to I don't want to be less than humble about this, but it seems like there's a
But I'm going to be. I'm going to take full credit. Everybody buckle up.
But it's like everybody is, not everybody, but there's a large portion of people that follow me on Instagram that banding seems to be appearing all over the place. And there's several that were not at the Bristol Sampler Weekend, which, that doesn't matter one way or the other, but there's a couple that I've seen that is actually doing a Bristol Sampler on banding like what we're doing. So
yeah,
more the merrier, I guess. Amen. It's fun, isn't it? Don't you? You're buzzing through yours.
Well, I've done 2 rows, yeah, but it's fun. See, and I want to call them band samplers because, a band sampler has its own little category, and these are bands on banding.
Right.
So it's kind of a thing there. But, a lot of fun. And I think it's fun in 2 ways. Number one, you don't have a very wide swath to fill. No. So each night you can complete a row.
Yeah.
And then it's whatever you want to put down.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to stitch. I mean, the way I'm doing it, and I've had a couple people ask me, how are you doing the design? I'm just making it up on the fly.
Yeah.
I have Harriet Salt, and then I have the three charts that we got at Sassy Jacks. And all those charts have all kinds of borders and alphabets. And so I just take them out, and each time I'm going to, all right, I've done two. All right. I'm on the third one. I just take them out and go through them and say, all right, I think I'd like to do this band next.
Right.
And so that's what I did. The first time I did the little water wave border, and then I wanted to have crosses prominent in the thing. So the second one I did was a border that had crosses. And then I've decided I'm going to do two borders and then some alphabet. Then two borders and some alphabet. And then somewhere in the middle, that Bible that is used on just about every Bristol sampler, that's getting set smack dab in the middle with nothing around it. It's going to sit there all by itself. And then I'll continue on below that with two borders and alphabet all the way down. And then somewhere along the way, my name is going to be, one of the alphabet rows is going to be my name, and then one of them is going to be the year.
Right.
So that's my plan. And then the rest of it is just whatever I feel like stitching at that moment, based on looking at the Bristol samplers that I own. And it's all one color, so you don't, it's not like there's any choice there. And mine's 5.5 inches wide. And so I've said we're doing it over one. So
Right.
I've said that mine has little blue stripes, 3 blue stripes on the left and the right. And so I said my end is two threads in, two linen threads in is my end. So there are 2 linen threads between, and then I think I'm doing 3 linen threads between each border or alphabet. Those are my parameters. So I'm trying to get some kind of consistency, and that's it. And then the rest of it's just, whatever I feel like at the moment.
I think yours is more. I did two threads in and 2 threads on either end. I don't know what I did in between. But I'm doing alphabet, so that's a little bit different
Right.
animal because of the top, if there's a T or an F or whatever, G or a P, whatever on below. So that's a little bit different, but yeah, people have asked me too, and this is what my response is. I have no plan. I'm just acting like I'm a typewriter. So I'm just going, ding,
Yep. Yep.
And that's all I'm doing. And I mean, I think that's one of the beauties about this is that there's just, you don't plan, you just start stitching.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's just it, because somebody asked me about, or mentioned about centering. And most of those border patterns, they can begin and end wherever.
Yeah.
So that's the way I do it. But now this one with the crosses, I felt that because the cross is such a definite element in the thing, I felt like there needed to be a cross dead center. And so I put a cross dead center, and then I stitched out from that both ways, so that then my ends, as it turned out, there's little X's that tie the crosses together, and so my ends ended up evening out. It was just pure luck that the way they ended up, but it looks really nice. And so if I'm doing a border that has that kind of element in it, I'll center it and then stitch out from the center. But most of them, I'm just starting on the left, and wherever they end on the right's where they end. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, and yours really does look good. I mean, it really does. Yours is very nice. And there's going to be pictures of them on the website or on YouTube, right?
Right.
And if you don't follow him on Instagram at Fiber Talk, you need to follow him because, boy, he is just putting a lot of nice pictures up.
Yeah, I have been trying to do that more. So it's Fiber Talk on Instagram or Vanna Pfeiffer on Instagram. And Vanna's you always put something up. You do something every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty consistent.
Because I like to look at pictures all the time. And so I try to do that just because I just like, maybe somebody likes to look at what I'm doing every day. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all there is to it. And then you just, like mine is, the piece I'm stitching on is 24 inches long. And so I started down 2 inches. You had said 1. I started 2 because when I got done because Vanna's going to finish it for me. I'm just sending it to Vanna. I wanted you to have enough.
Yeah. And I think, if, I don't know about that. We don't know what the spindle on our spool is going to be because we really don't have a spool. I mean, I do have spools for us, but I don't know if they'll fit yet. But anyways, don't you want your banding to be just right in between the two ends on the spool? I kind of want that.
Yeah, it'd be nice if that were the case. Yes.
Yeah. So I've got, 7 spools, but 4 of them are like incredibly large. And so I didn't realize that when I was buying them. I bought them I got them on eBay for cheap. And now I see why I got them cheap, because they're like industrial spools. But I did get a really nice one last week. I've got a couple really nice ones. So anyways, I'll get it all hammered down with our spools here, and well, we're not ready to finish yet.
Yeah,
anyway,
we'll be a minute or two. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, it'll be nice. And yeah, it's nice. And who we have to thank for this is Janice Green. And we're going to put we've had a lot of people on a couple of our videos say that they wanted to see Janice's spools. And Janice has been corresponding with me for about a year. And I have several pictures of hers that she has sent to me of her spools. She has spools, like a lot of spools. And so that's where I got it from. I'm not saying that she's the only one that's done this before. I'm just saying that's where the inspiration came for me. I am copying Janice Green. So I think that's important when we copy people, to give the person that we're copying credit. So Janice Green, I give you credit, and we're going to show her pictures in somewhere in our YouTube and on the website, and they're from Janice, and that's all her work, and it's beautiful work. Beautiful. It's inspiring to see it. It's gorgeous, her spools.
I'll make a slideshow on the page for this podcast, and then obviously when I do the FlossTube video, then I'll just string out the pictures, Janice's pictures, and then when I post it on Instagram, then I'll just use her pictures. So you'll be able to see any of the 3 places. You'll be able to see her stuff is spectacular. It really is just like if ours look half as good as that, it's a victory.
Right. It's really, it's just, very nice how she has them displayed, and when they're all rolled out, it's just, that's what, really got it. And it was just kind of serendipity whenever we were talking about her at Sassy Jacks, and then here, hi Vanna, oh, are you Janice Green? I still will never forget that.
Yeah, that was wild. Yeah.
So anyways, so excellent. It's a great project, a really great project if you're on the go, like a car project, or a travel project. It's very usable as that kind of a project in my mind.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's replace the Santas for now. That's going with me on the road, and because it's a real easy setup. I'm using a hoop, and I think that's what you're doing too. And you just put the band in there, pull it tight, and go.
Yep. Go. That's it.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and it's not I just roll mine up and tie a string around it, and that's the way it gets transported, so it doesn't get all wrinkled. And crushed up or anything, and it's pretty simple. And when we got them from Kim, then they serge everything, but they serge the ends, so the ends are all serged, and of course the sides are finished anyway. It's just pretty straightforward. There's nothing to it. I think that's one of the cool things is it's just a simple little thing, and you can do whatever you feel like. There's nobody telling you, oh, you can't use this one, you got to use this one.
Right.
And they all go together. They're all together on all these Bristol samplers, all these borders and alphabets. That's all those samplers are, just a collection. So it's not like there's any right or wrong by any stretch. It's just whatever you feel like.
Yep.
And
that's right.
The only reason I have put any parameters on it is I knew I wanted to use that Bible. And so then I felt that if I'm going to have that Bible, then I should have a row of crosses somewhere in the thing. And I'll probably have a row of crosses at the top and then at the bottom, just to kind of tie it together. But, that Bible, I just like the fact that Bible is in just about every sampler in one form or another. And so I want that prominent in the thing that I do. So yeah.
Right. I think that's awesome. And then I wanted to mention, you don't have to do Bristol samplers, band samplers on it. Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, he has a lovely series of borders. I think there's 2 of them, 2 different series of borders on his Etsy shop for PDF download that he's created off of, I guess, antique sampler type things, borders, or maybe he just made them their original. I don't know, but I did see him on Jacob's website. And then the second thing is I Stitch Designs from the UK starting her burgundy band sampler for 2020, and she has it's a stitch along that goes, I guess you get like a little bit, what is it, emailed every week, a little portion of it emailed every week for like 28 weeks or something like that. I don't know. I signed up for it, paid for it, doing it. 2020 burgundy sampler with iStitch Designs. She's on Facebook. I think she's on Facebook. She's on Facebook. Yes, she's on Facebook. But then she has like a blog that tells you you can sign up for her 2020 sampler. And then she has other band samplers like the Amethyst. That's another thing that I think Janice did one of those, or all of those too, on banding. So anyways, iStitch Designs is another place where you can find ones that are completed. You pay for it and you can get it now. Or if you want to join the Stitch Along starting in 2020, it's the Burgundy Band Sampler. But just because it's stitched, she's charted it in one color doesn't mean that you can have to stitch it in that color. You can stitch it in whatever color you want to stitch it in.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Well, and that's another thing. Someone had said that they were having trouble deciding between red and blue because they like the blue that I was using and like red in general, and the red you're using is really nice. And I said, hey, do both and alternate. Nobody says you can't do that. You can do any combination of that. You could do, if you're doing borders like I am, you could do the borders in blue and alphabet in red. I mean, whatever. Just make it up.
I never thought about that, but yeah, that's true. The red I'm using is just $4.98, DMC $4.98.
Yeah. And so, I'm using some NPI silk blue. I forget.
Yeah, because you're hoity-toity.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that. Okay, but now that does bring up a question, and I was wondering what you would think. So we're doing it over one, and I'm using a 26 needle.
Yep.
And one of the frustrations I've been having is getting the end weaved in when I get done with the thread. Because the single strand of silk is, in a lot of places, just kind of laying really in between and below the linen threads.
Yeah.
And so I'm having trouble getting underneath them. And a couple times I've just said, all right, I'm just going right through the linen thread. I don't care. So are you pin stitching the end when you end them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I do an L stitch. Since we're doing over one, I do an L stitch, like in needlepoint.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I've been doing that at the end.
Now see here, now this is why I bring it up, because now you made me think, and I'm going, well, pin stitch, but I can just, if I'm ending a thread, then I just make that in the next open space. Hello. What an idiot. All right, I'll wait. I'm awake now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be a lot easier, because I hate that when you can't get the needle under the thread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I've not even done a pin stitch to start. I've just been doing an L stitch and then stitch over the top of the L stitch. And then when I end it, I just I do an L stitch, but it's so little that you can't, I do it in the same hole is my final stitch, my final X. I end it just in that same, I do the X and then I do an L stitch, like in reversible cross stitch.
Oh, okay. So you're just doing it right over the top of that.
Yeah.
Because you can't see it anyway.
Nope, I pull it tight. You can't see it.
Okay, what an idiot. Why am I doing all that? I know better than that. Okay.
Yeah,
Simple.
And you're the needle pointer.
Simple, yeah. I know better than this. I mean, I just was so locked into getting under the threads in the back that I didn't even think, why am I doing that? It's a lot of hassle for nothing.
Yeah.
Never mind. Moving on. Yeah.
And do people know what the L stitch is? Like, do predominantly cross stitchers know what the L stitch is? It just looks like an L. That's it.
Yeah, you just make an L over threads. And,
yeah. Like a capital L.
Yeah. And sometimes with silk, you might have to do it like an extra leg on the L just to make sure it locks down, because silk doesn't have the friction of cotton.
Right.
So sometimes that helps.
Yeah, and I know that I've been doing that sometimes on the hiding it under the queen sampler, somehow doing an L stitch, and I just do a L. Like I do an L and then I go do an L over at the top of the L.
Right. Yeah. Because silk will slip out, so you got to make sure you got it locked down. Yeah. Okay. Well, now see, I had that seeking your insight, and then your insight was for me to just pay attention to what I already know. Got it.
You're the one that taught me all that stuff. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but then you actually have to think about it, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So, okay, and then we talked about hoops. So I'm just stitching on a hoop, and I'm using my lap stand and my tabletop magnifier thing. But been much interest, I don't know if it's because of us or what it is, but in Hardwick Manor hoops.
Yep, there's been a huge bound of interest in Hardwick Manor hoops here in the last 6 weeks. Seems like to me.
Yeah, I mean, unless it's just because more people have been asking us about them. But to me, I mean, that's the hoop. That's the hoop to get. That's the quality. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I don't know that there's any – I mean, there is a difference between – like I have the 7/8 side. So mine's almost an inch wide on my this is like an 8-inch hoop is what my biggest hoop is. And then on my fanny frame – and I must say, Gary, I love that fanny frame.
Yeah. I'm almost wishing I'd sprung for one of those.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, honest to heaven, it's nice. I'm even thinking about.
Okay, wait, let's finish about the hoops, because I got questions about that fanny frame.
Okay.
So
the hoops, what about them?
Well, I'm using mine's thick too. Mine's a thick, almost what people would call a quilter's hoop.
Oh, your Hardwick is?
Yeah.
What size is yours?
It's either 8 or 10 inches. I think it's 8-inch.
Yeah, mine's an 8-inch one.
I mean, I have a bunch of them, but the one I'm using, I think, is 8-inch. Yeah.
I want an oblong one or an oval one.
Because?
I don't know, just because I want one.
Now, there's justification if I ever heard it.
I want a smaller one. See, both of mine are kind of, well, the fanny frame one is a little bit, I think it's an 8-inch one. And then my other one's an 8-inch one. And I'd like to have just maybe a little bit smaller one for like banding and stuff, or ornaments and stuff, just for that reason.
Yeah.
But I must say, I really, because what frame are you putting yours in? You're a Lowry one?
No, actually.
We have Kay's Creation.
Yeah, the Kay's Creation one is what I'm using.
Yeah. Do you put like anything? I was going to ask you this. Do you put anything like to cushion that when you clamp it down, or do you just put her in there?
When I do the Kay's Creation lap stand, that's wood clamp anyway. So I'm clamping. It's a softer wood than the hoop, so I don't worry about it. But if I were doing it in my Kay's Creation, which is a metal clamp, absolutely, I'd put 2 layers of cloth on either side so I didn't dent that wood. Yeah.
Okay, I was going to put I haven't used it in my case creation thing, but I was thinking about putting like felt.
Yeah.
Like layering a couple layers of felt on just, on the hoop when I stick it in there.
That's exactly what I use is felt. Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering.
Yeah, I don't want those. I mean, those are beautiful hoops. I don't want them dented up by some metal clamp,
No, they are beautiful. And I'm wondering, I haven't messed with mine much, held mine much, but I'm wondering if it will, like the wood will get dark from your hand oils as you hold it.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. Character.
Because I like that when that happens to wood.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it will. Yeah, it's almost unavoidable. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we're wrapping ours.
Yes, with cotton twill tape.
Yep. Yeah, that the best way to see that, in my humble opinion, is to just go to Mary Corbett's site, Needle and Thread, and she has a video about wrapping hoops, and just follow that. But now she uses an acetate tape. But if you read the description that she has, she used that only because that's what she had at the time. She didn't have any cotton twill tape. She would prefer the cotton twill tape. And I tell you, I mean, I wouldn't use anything else. Is that cotton twill? Yeah.
Now, is it a video or is it just a tutorial?
Not sure. I thought it was a video, but maybe it is just a series of pictures. Yeah.
I don't know.
Either way, it's not that hard to figure out.
No, it's not. It's just wrapping the tape around at a diagonal. That's it.
Right.
And I have found that using I think that even Mary Corbett uses these too. Like I use clothespins.
Right.
To hold it, and I do not overlap mine.
Right.
Maybe just a little tiny bit, but not very, like a 1/16 of an inch, maybe. I just go right beside it because I don't want it like bumpy. And mine's very smooth. I must say, I did a really great job on wrapping, wrapping both of my fanny.
If I may have a moment to self-rate my work, I'm wonderful.
I did do a really great job on it, though. But anyway, so yeah.
Yeah, it's you just get that. I lay mine right flat. I don't let them overlap at all. But people talk about it like it's a big project. Get 2 or 3 hoops and some twill tape and a couple clothespins and some sewing thread, and sit down with your feet up in the recliner. Turn on a TV, and just sit there. It's just mindless wrapping. There's nothing to it, and you use a clothespin to hold it. When you get to the end, you just sew everything together, and it's done. And then that's it. You don't have to rewrap it with every project or anything like that. It's just one time. Yeah. And
it does not really. It's kind of, I've had this. Well, does it work on a plastic frame? No, not really, because those plastic hoops have like that locking lip stuff, and it won't. Then the hoop won't work really good if you wrap it. So no.
Yeah, and that's the part about plastic ones I don't like. I don't like that little lip cutting into the linen. I've never been a fan of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, no, it wouldn't work for that. But, even if you don't have a Hardwick Manor hoop, if you have, like, a wooden hoop from Amazon, it'll work on that, too. Yes, it will. So. Yeah.
Now, someone said to me, this is, I have not, all I know is they didn't say it to me. I read it. Someone said that to her it's important to go to the shop when you buy hoops and look at the hoops because you want to make sure that you buy a hoop that doesn't have any gaps all the way around between the two hoops. And so she goes and then she'll only buy those. But then she also said that wrapping eliminates that problem, that if there's a little gap, like that isn't perfectly round, that it eliminates that problem. So I haven't studied mine because they're all wrapped, so I don't care. But so that's what she recommended, was going to the shop and actually looking at them. But to me, it hasn't been an issue, so I don't think about it. But I just share that because I read it and I thought it was an interesting little thing.
I wonder is it Hardwick Manor hoops? Because I think these Hardwick Manor hoops are very finely made. I think that they're very finely crafted, and I don't think that there is any. I don't know. I'd have to look, but I don't feel like there is on mine. I did go to Hardwick Manor, because the quality of some of the other hoops
that I have purchased in the distant past. I just didn't think they were made well enough, held up well enough. And these Hardwick Manners, to me, are just rock solid. And
I know, right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. The other thing that I have done is I bought a screwdriver, because if you'll notice, I think this is important. If you, whatever hoop brand you buy, look at the screw that you turn to tighten and see if it has a slot in it for a screwdriver. And because I think that's important, that it have a slot for a screwdriver. And I actually went and bought a screwdriver that just stays in my travel bag.
Yeah.
To tighten that down, and that makes a big difference. Number one, you don't tear up your fingers trying to tighten that thing down.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, and it's real easy to tighten with a screwdriver. So what I bought for the Hardwick Manor ones, it's you have to buy a slotted or flat blade screwdriver. It's 1/8 inch. The blade is 1/8 inch.
It is a 1/8 of an inch. That's not very big.
No. But, so yeah, it's a 1/8 inch. That seems to fit best. And then, I wanted a little stubby one, but I couldn't find one. So I ended up getting a 4-inch screwdriver. But yeah, it's an 1/8 inch slotted screwdriver.
Huh.
And I got it at Home Depot. It's a Husky, which is, an average brand. It's their house brand. And I don't know, it was $3 or something like that. But, or you could go to your spouse's toolbox and lift a screwdriver. But, boy, I wouldn't get caught doing that. No.
I lift a lot of things. And then he'll find them and go, what is this doing in here?
That's why I wouldn't get caught doing them. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got pliers and wire cutters and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I just told him the other day that I needed a screwdriver for this. But I carry a little screwdriver set in my stitching bag.
Oh, well, you probably have the blade you need then.
No, mine are Phillips head.
Oh. Well.
Why do I have Phillips head?
I have no idea. I was going to say, what are you using a Phillips head for when stitching?
I think it was for one of my lights one time. I was at a retreat and my light messed up, like something, like I had to change a light bulb or something, and I went and bought a set of, they were probably $5, and there's 6 of them in there, small, different sizes, and I bought them just to get into that light. And I think that I bought those, and then it never made a difference. But I use it for something else. What do I use it for? I don't know, but I know what I use it for is my roller frame screws.
Oh.
When I tighten the sidebars, if you put a screw in the top, and they're Phillips heads, and then you put a screw in the top, then you can hold that stationary and twist the back end easier. You know what I mean?
I see. Yeah.
To make it, easy. I mean, to whatever. So, yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So that, I got that screwdriver, and then, so when I get, things all lined up and tight, then I just a couple twists with that screwdriver, and that thing is locked down. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. That's
okay, good.
Yep.
And then I didn't know this. Well, I did know this, I think, but it was refreshed in my memory. Another good reason of why you wrap your hoop is so that it doesn't mark your linen. That's one thing, but that doesn't mean that it won't mark the linen, because it will. If you leave it in there for 10 years, it'll mark the linen. But but the other thing is that wrapping the hoop allows that screw not to be stripped. It has a less likelihood of being stripped if it's wrapped, because you can't get it so tight, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
There's always a little, give, I guess.
Yeah. Yep. No, I think wrapping solves a lot of things. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I do too. And the English wrap both the outer and the inner.
Yeah.
That's an English thing.
I think that's overkill. Yep. I haven't felt like I needed that outer one wrapped at all.
I think Mary Corbett says if I'm not mistaken, she says it's overkill too.
Well, there we go. I mean, if I agree with Mary Corbett, then that makes me a cool kid.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay, tell me about that fanny stand thing, because I'm borderline jealous about that thing.
Well, okay, so I don't know, how do you use this fanny stand? Is it supposed to be from a side saddle? Because I don't do it like a side saddle. I do it right down the middle between my legs.
That's the way I thought you were supposed to do it.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. That's how I use it because that's the way I think it works better. Well,
and actually, Vonna, I mean, that's kind of a personal thing. That may be too much information, don't you think?
I guess probably it does sound a little gross. But anyway.
I mean, just maybe. I don't know. How you use your fanny stand, where you place it under your legs, personal decision.
Oh, shoot. But anyways, I will say I love that thing, and here's why. It is just very easy to just set down, put it wherever you're putting it and go to town. And you can get so the hoop moves up or down, angles up or angles down or whatever. And then the height of it, of the rod that the hoop is attached to, moves up and down, and you can get it really high or really low, however you want it. I really like it. It's just very seamless. It's almost effortless, and it stays tight the whole time too. Even with my Lowry stand, it seemed, or not my Lowry. Why do I keep on saying Lowry? Even with my case creation stand and roller frames, when I put that in and I'm working on the Queen or on Sarah or whatever, the case creation clamp, or at least mine does, seems to I have to tighten it every now and then because it seems to get a little loose on the clampy part. Probably because I've got it, all jammed in there with the Velcro around the side tensioners and all that stuff. But anyways, I just feel like it's locked and loaded and ready to go on the fanny frame. I really do like it a lot. I have been taking my linen out every night though, just because I don't want it, you don't want it stretched or whatever. So
yeah, I've been making that a practice. I didn't used to do that, but now I've been making it a practice. Every time I get done, I just take it out.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Yeah, I do too. And yeah, I really do like it. I am going to say that I like it better than Q-snaps. I know you're not a Q-snap person, but I used to really, I used plastic hoops. Then Q-snaps happened in the late 80s, early 90s, and I started using those, and it's I never looked back until 5 or 6 years ago when I started using roller frames. And I still use an odd time. I use Q-snaps every now and then. There's nothing wrong with Q-snaps. If you like Q-snaps, hey, that's great. I don't have any problem. But I must say, I really do like these Hardwick Manor hoops, and I particularly like this fanny frame. Just the portability of it, and it all comes apart too. Yeah. You know what I mean? That it just all screws together. I mean, just so the spindle screws to the fanny part that that's just a screw, and then you stick the hoop with the spindle down into the spindle because it fits down inside there. That's it. And then you're bam, ready to go. I took it with us to our family one of my husband's family reunion last weekend, and it was just so easy to transport because I just took it all down, put it in my bag, and when I got there, I loaded, I put it all together and ready to stitch. So I really do like it for that reason. Portability, ease. I don't know. I just really like it. I'm going to a retreat at the beginning of next week, or beginning of next month in November, and that's what I'm taking. Last year I took my big Needlework System 4 stand, and that thing's heavy and kind of bulky. I'm just gonna go with my fanny frame. Yeah, I've already decided that's what I'm taking.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I have to say, yeah, a little jealous. Probably should have bought one.
Well,
I could probably still get one. Do you think? You think that's possible?
I think you probably. Yeah, Santa Claus is coming. Yeah. At least, not too far from here now.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. Jeez, another thing to buy. Man.
I really do like it.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying it. I really do.
Yep. It looks and look. Yeah. Okay. All right. Enough of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and see, like Elizabeth, she's the one that sold it to me.
Yep. I know.
She's that. I mean, I hadn't even been at Sassy Jacks like 15 minutes, and she sold it to me. So
yeah, that was the first of many things you took out of that store. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. No, she didn't buy anything, folks. No, not at all. Hey, I'm going to be one of the cool kids. I am one of the cool kids. Susan Crowder Sire, CYR, who I met at the Bathia class in May and talked with her a little bit because her husband made her a stand that is to die for.
Mm-hmm.
She has gifted me a copy of The Proper Stitch.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not. And I'm quite proud to say it. She said, well, she said, I have an extra. Do you want it? I said, thank you very much. So she shipped it to me. Now I'm almost as cool as you. Mm-hmm.
You're cooler than me. Everybody likes you, Gary. I told you that already.
Yeah, right. So thanks to Susan. So yeah, proud owner of the
Proper Stitch.
Of the Proper Stitch now. Yep.
And is it the real book?
Yep.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Yep. Okay. Now, speaking of gifting, I want to talk about the Peacemaker needles.
I want to talk about the Peacemaker needles.
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Okay,
what do
so
you think about
Vanna made for me an accessory pouch thing on her ultra fancy sewing machine that basically, I think you just lay the cloth on top of it and then it just makes things, right?
Yeah, it does. That's true.
You really don't have to do anything. You go make dinner while it's just making things for you. Yeah.
That's right. That is, I'm not lying. That is true. Okay, go ahead.
So she made this, it's very, very nice. I really like it. And thank you once again. And then also in there, you made me a needle book.
Yeah.
And then you also put in there a package of size 26 and 28 Peacemaker needles.
Yep.
I can see why you like them.
Okay, I see. We haven't talked about this.
Yep.
So I'm glad that we're talking about it. So do you see what I'm saying? I love them.
I see why you like them and why you only use them. Yep. Yep. Have to say.
Aren't they excellent?
I like the eye. They're smooth.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because that eye is a little wider and it opens up the hole just right.
Yep. It's easy to thread.
Yep. Yeah, I have to say, yep.
They're better than Bowen, aren't they?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And well, the Bowen 28s, you can keep those. Those are garbage. But the 26s are good. I don't know what it is about their making of the 28s, but man, I don't like them. These Peacemakers, have to say.
They are like butter when they go through the linen.
Yep. Yep, you sold me.
Okay, good. I'm glad. See, I know what I'm talking about.
That's the word on the street, yeah. That's what they say. Yeah, all the people say that. Yeah.
All the people say it.
All the people.
Hey, speaking of needles.
Speaking of all the people or of needles? Yeah.
No, of needles. At our quilt shop, they have tulip. Now, they're not embroidery needles, but they have tulip tweens. So that's the needles that you quilt, hand quilt with. And I was like, looky here, ladies, I know about these. And I didn't tell the owner to buy them because usually, a lot of times I tell them, like, why don't you buy this? Why don't you know what I mean? And I did not tell her about these. I didn't even know that Tulip made tweens. But anyway, she has a bottle of tweens. Guess how much they cost?
Pricey, I'm sure.
$18.
For how many?
I don't know how many comes in them. I don't know, like 10, 12, I think.
Yeah.
10 or 12.
Yeah.
I was like shocked. I was like,
they're not cheap needles. Yeah.
No, is that how much the embroidery ones are?
I want to say that right in that price range per needle. Yeah, somewhere in there.
Holy smack!
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice.
Are they nicer than Peacemakers?
Well, see that I've said that before. I really like them. Are they are they as nice as they cost? I don't know. But I really like them. I mean, I would put them right next to Peacemakers in terms of quality, all the things. That eye on that Peacemaker, though, I'm liking that. I think that's a difference maker. Yeah.
It is, because it's easier to thread. Don't you believe?
Yeah, my threader goes right through it.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice, even on the 28. And I think that the finish on them are so nice. The eyes are clean.
Yeah.
The finish, I have used they say every project you get a new needle out and throw the old one away. I probably have several needles, because I don't have just one. I have like 50 going at all the time. And I think that I very rarely throw a needle away. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. I lose needles all the time, but I don't throw them away.
Shine a flashlight on Vanna's floor. It just sparkles.
Every time we mop, and I come in here and I Swiffer, I find like 5 needles.
Jeez.
And Keith goes, "What in the world are you doing with your needles?" And I go, "I drop them. They fall out of my hands." So anyways.
Yeah, that new needle for every project. No, I use a bunch of needles on every project, so it's a moot point. No.
Yeah. I don't understand a person that has just one. I'll be honest, and I don't mean this hateful. I just don't understand a person that has one needle. I have I have a lot of needles. Like, I bet you I have, like I said, 50 needles in my going. I mean, not all threaded and ready to go, but I mean, I have 50 right beside me on a magnet, ready to pick up and go all the time.
Yeah, I like to have a bunch of them available. Yeah.
Yeah, I do too. Me too. I agree.
Don't know why that is. I wish you could get Peacemaker in larger than bulk. That was the word I was going for, bulk.
Yeah, I wish we could. I wish I could too. I've even written them and asked.
Oh, you have? Oh.
But you all need to sign up for their newsletter, because they have very good sales at Peacemakers frequently. Percentages off, and I will buy 50 packs of Peacemakers, which is there's 6 in a pack. So what is that? 300 needles.
Look at you do the math. Wow.
I know, right? Right. That isn't 300 needles. It's 18.
Are you sure?
180. Oh, God.
Maybe you should get a calculator out.
Say?
Maybe you should get a calculator and just see if that's is 50 times 6, 300.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it really?
I don't know. Did I say 30 or did I say 50?
I don't know. You said 300. I don't know. Maybe you should get a calculator out and see if 5 times 6 is 30 times 10 is 300.
Yeah, it's 300, but I don't remember if I said 30 or if I said 50 packs. Anyways, whatever. I get a lot at one time, and they'll give you free shipping, and there'll be a percentage off of it. I mean, I only do that like once a year. I don't do it like every other week or anything. But, I mean, Keith always goes, "What is this bill for?" And I go, "Needles." 300 needles. Anyways, yeah. So, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, I like having lots of needles.
I do too. I do too.
Just a thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I call people's attention to It's Mike's Turn. Now I put a link a few weeks ago. We talked about it, and I'll put a link again. Etsy shop. It's Mike's Turn. He makes the most beautiful Ort bowls on the planet, and I think he makes a batch, and then they sell out. And then I think he doesn't have anything for a while, and then he makes a new batch. But he's down to 18 or 20 objects that he's made, because he has needle cases, Ort bowls, and then he has these bowls with a top.
Oh, gosh. Now
they're
you're going to make me
beautiful.
go, yeah.
They're beautiful. And he turns the top and the bowl out of the same piece of wood, so they fit perfectly, and you can line the grain up. That's how precise he is. But call people's attention to that. Go buy him out, because I own one of his Ort bowls, and if you appreciate good woodwork, you'll appreciate his work. It's just beautiful. And he uses some of the weirdest woods. I don't know where he gets all these woods, but all kinds of different woods. And, I highly recommend that. Nothing in it for me other than I just think it's a beautiful product and worth every penny. And guys like him need to be supported. So, yep. Etsy,
Yep.
It's Mike's turn.
It's Mike's turn.
Yep. I'll put a link on the page for this podcast. But yeah, you want something real nice for a gift or something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep. And then what else we got? We got so many. Oh, I wanted to talk about when we were getting the band sampler stuff. I got the NPI silk.
Yeah.
For that. Well, that's a lovely silk.
I have, I'm trying to think if I ever have used MPI.
Well, you bought the red.
I did buy it. I haven't used it yet, though.
You bought a fistful of that red.
Yeah, I did.
And then you went to DMC on your band.
Well, I didn't know about the band. I didn't know if it was silk worthy.
And your criteria for silk worthy is?
I don't know. I didn't know if it was silk worthy.
Is this cloth silk worthy? I don't know. Nah, this is crappy cloth. I'm just using DMC on this, yeah. Actually, I got some acrylic yarn at Michael's. I'm just going to use that on this. Yeah, this isn't worth it. Yeah.
I will say that 498 DMC, that is another thing that came out of going to the Bristol sampler weekend, is that's the red that Claudia suggests for Bristol samplers. And I must say that really brought my attention to how fabulous that 498 red is. It's very nice.
Okay. Send me the MPI silk. I'll use the silk. You're not going to use it.
I am too. I'm going to use it on that little guy, the little one. The
little guy.
Sampler. Yeah, the red. It was called the red.
Oh, okay.
Crystal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one I'm going to use it on.
If we talk in 2 months and you haven't used it, I want it.
Okay. I'll start it tonight.
It's not silk worthy. Oh, help us. Yeah. No, that was a beautiful red. Yeah.
Well, yours looks awesome.
Yeah,
nice
that silk is really nice. I'm going to start using more of that.
How many strands are in that? 6 or 8 or how many?
Uh-huh.
You don't know?
I don't count. I don't care. I just cut off 18-inch lengths, put them in one of those drop things, and then I just separate them as I need them, and when they're gone, then I get another length. I don't know. I honestly don't pay any attention. Yeah.
MPI has beautiful colors.
Yeah.
And, they're nice. I mean, they look very luscious, very nice. I'm not a soie d'Alger. I'm not a real lover of that bread.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've turned on it. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. I just don't. Somebody told us, who was it that said that is one of the things about soie d'Alger is that it does have a tendency to fuzz. Who told us that? Somebody told us that down there.
Don't know.
But anyways, that's what my problem is with it. I mean, it's beautiful colors. It's a luscious silk. I just find it, and it might just be me. I just might be hard on it. It could just be a totally Vanna thing. I don't know. But
well, I do think that the bringing the eye up from the bottom, your technique, is probably counterproductive when it comes to silk. Yeah,
I agree, and I have been trying to retrain myself to do it on the Queen sampler only to come up with the needle the needle point rather than the eye.
Yeah.
But that, I'll be honest with you, stitching that way for like 35 years, that's hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Yeah, the MPI, the only other silk that I've had, and I like soie d'Alger, I don't mind it, but the only other silk that I've had that kind of a reaction to is pepper pot silks. But
I've never tried.
They're not readily available. I've not found a good source for them. But the Gahan Rogers piece I did, the Lady Edith, was a lot of pepper pot silks, and oh man, it was so nice. They lay so nice. The colors are beautiful. Yeah, I really like them.
Really?
Yeah, really do. Yeah, but it's just not. If they're just not readily available that I've found. Maybe there's a source, and if there is, I'd sure like to know about it. But watch Kim has the full line.
I have
she calls after this. I have everyone.
Yeah, I have never heard of pepper pot. I would like to try it just because of the name.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah. Well, I've never had those.
Well, I have. Maybe I'll remind me. I'll ship you some of my leftovers. You can play with them.
Oh, thanks. I love that. Now then, are we going to talk about the queen? Because it's kind of like the elephant in the room, I feel like, personally. For me, anyways.
Well, sure. We can talk about the queen.
Yeah, I am just having a hell of a time with that band that we're on. I'm last night, okay, so the spiral trellis stitch got one done, and I am very proud of the spiral trellis stitch that I've got done. So I go to the next little cluster of grapes, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm short one. It has to be when I got screwed up on those angles, right? Remember me telling you?
Yeah. So with the next cluster of grapes, you don't have the proper space?
Yeah, for the leaf. So I'm going to have to so I unpicked the leaf in that next little thing, both leaves, and now I got the cluster in, and they'll be fine, but I'm going to have to like do some finagling to get the one leaf because it's just one. The leaf would be right up next to the cluster of grapes, if you understand. There's supposed to be one stitch there.
Oh, okay.
And there's not. There would be right like brushing the grapes if I would do it like it's charted. So I picked them both out. So anyways,
I'd find a way to make that work.
I don't know if I should go down. Maybe if I'd go down one, that would cause. I don't know. I'm going to look at it more tonight. This band has just been hell on wheels for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up, though. I think everybody thinks when I post on Instagram and Facebook, I think everybody thinks that I'm going to give up. I'm not going to give up. That's just not who I am. Especially after I kind of was that way. Well, no, I really wasn't that way. I did Jesus. I had to redo him 4 times. That's why I'm saying, should I just start over with this whole thing? But, I look at my stitching, Gary, and it's like you saw it. You held it in your hands, and my stitching is beautiful on this.
Yeah.
Because I sat and looked at it really hard the other night thinking, am I just going to trash this and just get a whole new piece? And I was looking at my stitching and I thought, no, my stitching is beautiful front and back. And I'm struggling on this. It's counting errors on my part and probably and I think you even said this too, on the Montenegrin, counting the Montenegrin and those, when you're going from diagonal to straight. I understand how to get to there. I don't think I counted it appropriately, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Well, that's the mistake I made is I can get to the angle. That's not a problem. But
yeah.
I miscounted where you start the angle.
Right.
And and 4 times. But I got it.
So, really the only way that I could just like get this all to be correct, I guess, is just to rip everything out and start again. But I'm not doing that, Gary. I'm not going to do that.
No.
So I'm just going to have to just be creative finagling with the leaves. And that's what I'm going to do.
I've gotten that impression from some people who have posted things that they think that we're really frustrated and it's hard and blah, blah, blah. And but we knew that going in. We knew this thing was going to be a healthy challenge going in. And
right.
I'm not quitting.
No,
I'm learning, and I was ready to throw that Montenegrin stitch thing, but it wasn't the stitch. It was me. I can't count, and so
right.
Once I got that straight, it was fine. And
right.
no, I'm not. It's not easy. Nobody said it was, and it's certainly not as easy as sitting there making Bristol sampler borders, with X's
right.
by a long shot, but. We knew that, and that's the purpose is we're learning. And
right. And I don't know how to, the spiral trellis stitch. Have you done that yet? Have you done one yet? You?
Have I done the trellis stitch? No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, have you ever done one in needlepoint?
Nope.
Well,
it's going to be new.
It's it's frustrating. I mean, it's frustrating. I'm just going to say it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was frustrated. That doesn't mean that I don't feel like what my stitching looks. I feel like, okay, so I did like I did one on my cheat sheet or whatever what is that called? Doodle cloth. And then I went and I did one on my real thing. And now in retrospect,
That was a hell of a band, Doodle Cloth. Man, they were really good. And then they broke up, you know?
I know.
Oh, I liked them. Their drummer was fantastic. Yeah.
Wasn't he though? He
Yeah.
was.
Anyway.
Yeah, back to my thing. But anyways, when I picked that other one out, and in retrospect, I should have never picked that out because the one that because I thought it was wrong, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that I didn't follow the instructions or know how to do it. I did kind of know how to do it, but I will say this. The proper stitch does not address like decreasing one on the spiral trellis. It really doesn't even say anything about the spiral trellis other than here's the diagram. This is what you do. That's it. It doesn't really say decrease one. And if you're a crocheter or a knitter, you know that to make a circle, you have to decrease to close the circle. And anyways, so I was a little, not right on that. And so then I tried like 4 others on my doodle cloth, and then I kept on making like volcanoes because you know what I mean? Because then I didn't decrease.
Yeah, right.
And then it was like, then I found someplace thistle threads. I searched and I searched and I searched and I found thistle threads. And that's probably the best tutorial that I have seen. And for the spiral trellis, and she talks about decreasing, and there's really no rhyme or reason to how you decrease. You just kind of start skipping stitches. It's just kind of, free form. And for a person that likes rules, that's kind of hard to free form. You know what I mean? Because I do like rules. And then I'm always thinking that I'm not right. And I just have to be more confident in myself, like I'm right. That's what my problem is. Therein lies the whole problem is that I am right, and then I post it thinking I'm not right, but in reality, I am right. You know what I mean? I do have it. I do have it. This spiral trellis, the one spiral trellis that I have on my sampler is beautiful. It's beautiful. If I do say so myself. Of course, I've done like 10 spiral trellis to get one, but I'm confident that I can get my other ones to look like that. And I am telling you right now, that's kind of hard, and you will probably not have the problem I had because you need to have a pretty firm hand on your tension.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty firm, in my opinion, to get it to lay in a spiral. But that is a beautiful stitch, I must say. It is a beautiful stitch when it's done.
Yeah, well, I'm anxious to get to it because that was one of the handful of things that stood out when I saw Linda Vinson's was those spiral stitches. My first thought was, I want to do one of those. I want to see what that looks like. Yeah, because they're beautiful.
It's absolutely beautiful. And, it's beautiful. That's all I have to say about it. Yep. It's beautiful. I wish that that grape kind of looks stupid on that because because if you look at Linda's chart on her cover fold, she doesn't fill in that burgundy grape on the end. But it's just an open circle. Mm-hmm. But I thought, why wouldn't you fill it in? So I filled that one in. So anyways, regardless.
Yeah. No, I thought yours looked great. You keep talking about tearing it apart and throwing it away. I think yours looks great. Go with it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with it. It's not going to be perfect, but is anything perfect? I don't know. Is there perfection? I don't think there is. And I'm doing the best I can, and it looks pretty doggone good. And I have got to just be more self-confident in the fact that I'm good with it. And that's my own fault. Yeah. I'm too much of a perfectionist. That's what the problem is.
No, I thought yours looked great. Yeah.
Well, yours looks great too. Because, see, I held his too, folks. He looked at mine, and I looked at his. And it was good. That sounds horrible, nasty. And I didn't mean it to sound like that. His queen sampler was beautiful. Lord. Oh, gosh.
Now, see, if you hadn't have tried to clarify, it wouldn't even have entered my mind. But, oh, no, she's got to go one step further. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, after I said it, I thought, oh, my gosh, that sounds X-rated. Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll just go move on from that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are. So how far are you on the Queen Sampler?
Not quite frankly, not any further than I was when you saw it.
I can't remember what it was when I saw it.
I'd gone up to the top of the Montenegrin stitch and had filled in the center, but then I had a conference show after, and then I did a little band samplering, so. Back at it, but life got in the way. Yeah.
Okay, quite frankly, I want this band over with, and I'm not going to post. I'm not posting anything until it's done. I'm not. I've decided I'm not post. Not no. I mean, I'm not posting anything more about this band, this one band, until it's done.
Okay.
Because it's just frustrating to me.
Yeah.
To like I know it's not perfect, and I'm going to make it look perfect when it's done stitched, but it's not going to be perfect. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I know one thing. I'm going to go back and count and make sure I have the right gap in the Montenegrin vine there. I got to make sure.
See, I thought I had the right gap. Yeah. Obviously, I did not.
Yeah, I'm going to go check that. Yep. No, no, this is, and I will say that the band sampler thing that we're both working on, I kind of dug into that, and I was just kind of taking a little mental break from the Queen sampler, just to kind of give myself a little fresh view of it.
Right, and I will say, I encourage anybody that's stitching the Queen sampler, leave us a comment somewhere or email us. Both of our emails are on wetalkfiber.com. Do you take a mental break? Are you just powering through it? If you're just powering through it, are you taking eating Wheaties or taking shots of liquor? What are you doing? Because I don't think I could do it. Especially when you have a band that's this hard. What in the hell is it going to be like when we get to those queens? And they're coming up, Gary.
I know.
They're coming really fast.
Yep. Hey, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's a nice challenge. They're beautiful colors, different stitches, really different looks from anything I've ever stitched. I just think it's fantastic, and I'm enjoying it. So.
No, I am too, and I have learned so much.
Right.
And and I'll be honest with you, I was so naive. Well, I've said this before, I think, but I was naive. I didn't want to do it, and then we started, and I was like, this is gonna suck. I don't even know how to do the reversible cross stitch. And then I got over that hump, I got through that, and then it was like, whatever. This is going to be easy. That was a stupid for me to even think that, because then I got to this band, and it's like, I feel like I'm stupid. I feel like I can't even function to get this done, and then I doubt myself, and I get frustrated and stuff like that, but it's tenacity, and I am learning so much about how threads lie on the back, because whoever thinks about that? As long as it's just tucked and nobody can see it from the front, I didn't care what it looked like on the back. But I'm thinking really hard about how my threads are laying when I do other. Do you find yourself when you're on the band sampler, thinking how your threads are laying on the back?
Yeah, sure.
Because I do.
Yep.
Now I think about everything. How am I going to waste the least amount of thread? I think about that now, and it's like, I would have never thought about that.
Yeah.
So anyways, I have learned a lot from this, and it's a very worthy project. I don't know that I hope that we're done in a year, but I'm afraid we're not going to be, but I hope that we are.
Well, we'll see.
Then I think this, when we get down to that cutting stuff, what if I do all this sweat, blood, and tears, and I get down there and I freaking ruin it? Then what?
Then you're entitled to cry. Yeah. Yep.
But you don't cut anything, because I got that Yvette. Is it Yvette Stanton?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I got that book that you told me, those books you told me to get.
Yeah.
And
she's the master. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I got her books, and I was looking at it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I have not ever done cut work, but it's just you lay the cut work in and then you cut, right? So you don't have to cut until everything's put in, right?
Well, it typically with hardanger, you have to put in cluster blocks before you cut, or it'll unravel. So the cluster blocks hold it together.
Right.
Yeah.
So as long as my cluster blocks are right, then it'll be okay, right?
Right. But you can still cut the wrong threads.
Okay, great. Thanks. That's making me feel awesome.
I mean, well, because
it'll be
because
fine.
if you got to weave in between, then you need the right threads in the right spots. So depends.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to pull that book out and try something.
Yvette's book, what is it? Her hardanger,
beginning something. Mine's the one with the white one on the front. I don't have it up here.
Hardanger, white one on the front. That narrows it down.
It's like, well, I mean, yeah, I guess so, right. I think mine's for the beginner. Hardanger for the beginner.
Yeah, just do what she says, but just practice on a piece of linen, because yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It'll work.
It'll work. I will say I do gain a little bit of confidence every day, even when I'm picking out leaves and laying my head down and crying, and I'm getting a little confident every now and then.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great project. I like it.
It is. It is.
All right, we got to end. Man.
Oh, dang.
We do this. Sunday's guest. This is really weird. Sunday's guest is Mike Parr. John.
This Sunday's gift?
Yes. Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Because we're recording ahead of the show, see?
Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah, sorry.
See, you've ruined the illusion now. See, now it's just all ruined. Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is terrible.
Can you cut it out?
No, I'm leaving it in now. No, I'm not taking that out. No. No way.
Okay.
So when you hear this show, the Sunday guest will be Mike Parr. And boy, that was fun.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
What did we learn from him? We learned some genealogy.
Yep.
Stitching history.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what a talent he is. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I could have sat and listened to him just talk about the stitching history, I think, for a whole hour.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Fantastic guest. He carried the show.
Yep. Yeah, you don't have to hear us. You barely hear us in the show. He just goes. Yep.
And we don't mean that in a negative way.
No.
I mean that in a good way.
It was like, keep going, Mike. Keep going. Tell more.
Right. He was an awesome guest.
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of needlework you do. You want to hear him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's really good. Really good. And he is guaranteed to come back. Yep.
Yep.
Really good show. All right, that's going to be it. If you want to join us for the Queen Sampler, Sassy Jacks, Kim will just call Kim. She'll fix you up. It's not too late, and don't let us scare you off. It's worth digging in. Yep.
Yeah.
Worth digging in.
Don't be scared. Yep.
Fiber Talk, maybe buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag. And needle minders at the shop page at wetalkfiber.com.
Mm-hmm.
Can fix you up with those. And that's it.
Support our sponsors.
Please. Because they support this.
Yep, that's right.
Makes it happen. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It sure does.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.